All right, good everybody. This is Marcel Pursuit, the Sports Inquirer, and we're happy to be joined by Georgia Tech volleyball player Breland Morrissette. Breland, the team is off to a very good start. Only one loss so far on the season. Before we get to specifics, just how has the team been doing so far, or doing well to get off to a good start?
Yeah, I think our team's been doing really well. I'm really proud of what we've done so far. We put in a lot of work this off season to come out with a strong start. So yeah, I'm proud of us and how well we've done.
Yeah, and you're a senior. You've been part of the program for a few years, so you've gone from the team struggling to have a winning record to now making the NCAA tournament last year. You're on pace to do some big things again this year. What's that been like for you, just the growth of the program in your time at Georgia Tech?
Yeah, it's really amazing to see how far we've come. I remember coming in, my first season wasn't where we wanted to be. So seeing that growth has been something that's been really special. And a lot of us coming in, I know my class in particular, believed in the vision that Michelle had for our program. And it's really exciting to see that come to fruition this year. And I'm excited to see where we'll go.
Yeah, and talking with Coach Collier earlier today or a previous interview, she just mentioned that you had some struggles your first few years, and you see the statistics, just not being able to find your way onto the court. What's it been about this year, even a little bit last year, but more your senior year? This is the most playing time I've seen you have. You've been a big contributor at the middle. What's been different about this year for you?
Yeah. This year in particular, I think my mindset has been a lot different. And the off season was really big for me. I put in a lot of work to get my game to where it needed to be up to this point. Early on in my career, I had, also we had great middles in the position, but I also had a injury going into my sophomore season. And so that took me out for a while. And then from that point, just working to get my game back to where it needed to be so that I could see some court time. And I think it's really special that I've been able to do that this year and see that time that you're talking about.
And you've been a big contributor on the defensive end with blocks. You've set career highs multiple times this season, including 6 total blocks, I believe, against Indiana in that contest. I think it was Indiana. I'm just looking up the statistics. But you've done really well. Yeah, it was Indiana. 6 total blocks in that contest. What about that part of the game and being a big contributor towards that? Because it seems like that's been a much bigger improvement for the team and yourself included in that from previous years, the blocking part of the game.
Blocking has always been something that I really like to do. It's my favorite part of the game. And so being able to provide that for the team has been great. And I think it's also a lot to do with our serving. We have some really strong servers on our team. And so when they make it hard and get the other team out of system, it's a lot easier for me to contribute in the blocking.
Yeah, and what is that like being in with a veteran group? You have veteran hitters, outside hitters. You work a lot of times with Kayla Kaiser, another senior. You have a veteran group, or even your setters and your liberos are all upperclassmen for the most part. What's that like being in a group that you've played together with them for a few years now?
Yeah, the connection is there, and it's really fun to play with people that you've known for a long time. You kind of know how everybody works, and I think also that the maturity that we have on the court now, and being able to come to each game consistently and with the same mindset overall has been really special.
I spoke with Coach about this also. You've played teams from the Big 12, the Big 10, Pac 12, some SEC opponents. What's that been like for you? Seeing, because you're used to playing teams from the Southeast and obviously ACC play. What's it been like traveling the country literally and seeing all these different teams?
Yeah, it's been really fun, and it's been cool to see and play against different styles of volleyball, from the West Coast to the Big Ten. Like just playing it against different styles and different strategies has been really fun.
Yeah, and now you have two more matches coming up. We'll start with Arkansas. You play at North Carolina State in Raleigh on their court. They're another team, only one loss on the season. A very physical, a very offensive minded team. What have you seen from them? Because I know we mentioned all the defense and everything like that. What have you seen from them, and what will you have to execute well to emerge with a victory?
Yeah, they're a really good team. They have some really big hitters, so I'm really excited to play defense against them. And I think that that is something that we'll need to execute on at a high level, and just being very disciplined in our defense, and as well as a really strong serve and pass game.
Yeah, we'll get to Georgia, but you brought up something there. How do you scout a team? How do you approach it? Do you look at the angles that they hit the ball? Do you look at where their setter is? How do you scout a team from their offense and transition it to your defense?
Right. Yeah, we look a lot at their tendencies and where they like to hit the ball, and when they're coming from certain locations on the court, where they like to take their swings to. So that'll be something that we look at. You know, do they like to hit back to the libero or to the setter? And then we set up our defense around that.
Yeah, and is that something you've just gotten better at over the years, being able to see these teams and
Mm.
kind of pick up their patterns a little bit easier?
Right. And also like reading the hitter. So learning their tendencies and playing towards that, but then also being able to see, you know, their body movements and adjusting to that too.
Yeah, and then lastly, you have Georgia this weekend as well. I know you like to look past an opponent, but I have to ask about Georgia. What's that at? It's going to be in at Georgia Tech this year. What's it like playing them and kind of fighting for the right to be called the best in the state? What's that rivalry like that from a player's perspective? I hear the coach talk, say it's
Yeah.
just another match, but I'm sure you interact with these people at camps and just other activities. What's it like playing them, for against Georgia?
It's super fun. It's a really passionate game, and you can tell like the energy is there. And I'm really excited to play that game in O'Keefe. It gets crazy. The fans are awesome. It's a really electric environment. So I'm really excited to play them. And that rivalry's there. It is hate week.
Yeah, and I'll say, do you cross paths with them? And on other sports, do you know them just from recruiting or camps or open gyms? Do you really cross paths with them often?
On occasion, I know a couple other girls from club before we got here, and then as well, you play them. Well, we used to play them every year before COVID. So yeah, you get used to going against them, and you get their faces are familiar. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Breland, and good luck against Georgia and against Arkansas.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.